他的形容俺去跟着几年，那这个现起了对的主播嘛都刚来对吧去嘛对吧，让我们主对吧只有嘛的是，这样那个第一路是呢，就那这个给我主接那就啥吧，有了点点第一中国的是，现在那个东啊，就还这个。就那进来的中国人，现在的那张，我是东啊没有出来的个，就那进来对呢，那没有说过的是。现在我是第一主要的，就那进来的那中国人是嘛到，就那进刚来嘛对吧？然后我们主这个东啊要嘛的，那就那进刚来嘛对，然后我们主这个，那第一些用过嘛的是，那现在那就在的那在上有专门的个去，他们这呢。现起了对的主播嘛，到刚来嘛对吧？人工的主播早有要嘛的，现在上有专门的送巴的，现在今天送巴那上有专门的，对吧？那的对吧？那面吧，也是那对吧？当吧，超多有吧？也是那公布日记，这样上有专门的运动区别过呢，上有专门的了对不破，恰巧的哇，恰巧的，我就早些了给去开始那告诉我介绍的开始。大家上的这的人学会把都安迪过现象就去查起，等到宁波的我就开始学过了呢，我就叫我起码他到美国往头来呢，的就才得了样子，很进步的初中学法针对3年们这样人，再叫我起码我就马上了呀，叫我过呀的，我就的。进步的初中水平，尊重人们些大人给，那叫我起码他的美国话都有举切过的，叫我起码你话的昂上了给毛也给，见点的切过了哇，今天上，第一个人是学，今天在这里啊，他把他们这边国话脱回呢，带来那样子定义在哪，那这个东西大面不都被写了，呀，让做的多呀好过呀，给他特别接，真的我们结果，我们你们结果也是，他看上当的人，当然就。
Good afternoon. So, yesterday, in our 2 sessions yesterday and this morning, we've been looking at this introductory verse. And the meaning of this in brief is that the Buddha taught that all phenomena arise dependently, that all phenomena are dependent arisings. So this we've explained through a number of different illustrations, and where it's of particular importance to us is having come to recognize that everything that one does, ourselves and others do, is motivated to achieve happiness and to be freed from suffering and problems and difficulties. We come to understand through this presentation of dependent arising that the longed for result of happiness, that result comes about only in dependence on causes and conditions. The result of happiness is a phenomenon, it's an existence, so it's a dependent arising, dependent on causes and conditions. The suffering we wish to avoid, when this is experienced, it too has come about in dependence on causes and conditions, because suffering too is a phenomenon and existent, and therefore has come about in dependence on causes and conditions. And as this is the case with happiness and suffering, it means that to achieve happiness, we need to identify those causes, and then in dependence on cultivating those causes, the result of happiness will be achieved. And by identifying the causes of suffering, we can engage in dependence on that, we can engage in the application of antidotes to eliminate those causes, and thereby not experience the results of suffering. So this is how the understanding of dependence arising is of immediate use to us. And moreover, we understand that in order to attain good rebirths in our future lives, we need to accumulate the appropriate causes. So this very life we have achieved now has come about in dependence on causes accumulated in past lives. We need to identify those causes and accumulate similar causes again to ensure that our future lives are also in a happy migration, born as a human or god, with excellent conditions for further spiritual progression and the attainment of lasting happiness. And those causes are, as we heard earlier, primarily ethical conduct, and then accompanied by the minds of generosity, patience, and joyous perseverance. And these four then are together powered with prayer. And these are the causes that lead to good rebirths. And if one desires to actually be freed of suffering in its entirety, then the liberation from suffering, going beyond suffering, this comes about also in dependence on causes. Those same four causes, but conjoined with a greater motivation, the motivation not just of a good rebirth, but for liberation, and conjoined with the two additional practices of developing the mind of concentration and the wisdom realizing selflessness. So this is what the Buddha has taught, and he taught that all phenomena arise dependently. And Nagarjuna, the author of this introductory verse, praises the Buddha for having taught dependent arising, calling him the best of teachers, the perfect Buddha, and offers homage to him, prostrates to him, with the last line, I bow down.
And Cherimachigi, San Yujimnen de la, and the Gumulurgi Dubanajiri, San Yujimnen de Chetamji, Dinjin Java Song Shas, Chazan, Chetamji Dinjin Java Song Bear, Yahor Shush, Shas, and Delian, Dinjin Java Sumbi, Dinjin Sumbi, Gune, Dunga, Kasore, Puarwa, Chazan, Dujing Apache, Apachigura, Chazan Dinji Sumbi Gune, and the Devo Puare.
Now we come to the actual text composed by Lama Tsongkhapa. And here this starts in a similar vein to the verse that he inserted from Nagarjuna, which is praising Buddha Shakyamuni for having taught dependent arising, for having taught that all phenomena, everything that exists, does so in dependence.
I didn't know. Tinjin Java Chunwi, dear Basikra. That's it. Did it. Ganji Sixing Songba Yi, Kena Dumba Lana Me, and Java Tinjin Java Chung, Sixing Dumba Della Dus, Song Jerem Chitambo, and Ya de Dusen and Dumba San Jimne de Lea Chaseo, 60.
And this is then reflected in the first verse. I bow down to the unsurpassable teacher, whose supreme omniscience realized and taught the conquering dependent arising. This is a very brief verse, but within this is contained a very profound meaning, and it can be explained in a vast way.
Delia Ganji Sixing La do 6 and as I jump the Kempari Shasor, San Jumna Kiron Ken Shasor, Gary Ken Shalana, that is Murvam. And now to give Dunga de Ganis Yungores, Lemna, and you Leda, Nyomobadu, Sinan, Yudanyum Mobaletene, and Nyom. Dawang Nga Rangshin Jubi Ngazin Bi Ngazin, Della Dine Dusha Kongro, Della Dine Lesa, and Lei Wanga Kowa Kiwa Lemba, and Dunga Bado, maybe Yongwe at the year. You can let Dine do Sin Yungu body, and then it didn't do Dine Sabana, and then the Yungre, Dine Saba, Dine Yungres, and Dine Ganga Yontagi, Rimba Kunde, Yudi Rimba the Chazan, the San Yujim Nendi, Kurongi Kensha or 6 said.
So just to say for now from my side, for those who are new to this text, when verses are translated from Tibetan into English, often the order of the Tibetan and the English doesn't match. So this is the case in most verses. So the first, in the first line in the Tibetan, we come to the word realize, which we have as the third line. So what is the meaning then of this term realized? So this refers to realization of Buddha Shakyamuni himself. And here he has realized that the suffering that beings experience, this comes about in dependence on causes, and he has realized not merely that, but what those causes are. And he's identified them in a complete and unmistaken way. So the stages that this progresses through is starting from a root cause of an ignorance of self-grasping, so a mind of ignorance that is grasping at the self as being truly existent. So this is the root cause, a mind of ignorance that grasps at the self as being truly existent or inherently existent. From this root cause come all our afflicted minds, such as anger and attachment, pride and jealousy, and those minds themselves lead to the production of karma, whether mental karma or verbal karma, physical karma. And this then ripens in our suffering experiences. And this is a stream of continuity that happens continuously. And this is what is keeping us bound within samsara. So this is something, this progression of stages, this continuity, continuously happens. And this is what is keeping us, these are our chains which are keeping us bound within samsara.
lam kasungan zo samlo kanis tangri nyamnan kanis chegor khowalya thayadi kanis chegore sene andiya sangye jumnen digi ne gar kingore sene ananga zo khowala tangbo khowadile thargugudo thayalya samlo kanis tangor sa tangbo ane chig ngejung ka khowadile thargudo sempigi ngejung sam tayade konjo summan jamro cheare ane andela tene ane gar kugure sene 주기 안치게 대시류가 유스묘 예제던 비 수름송야당 아니 진비 냠난지야 되네 다음에 봐도 따와 또비 셰랍 냠곰제 니 곰발에 때네 아니 코비기 꽤 차산에 도와줘 코발에 탈제 탈바세 톱투고요 바다 아니 니가래야 예저 곰비기 디가래 자주 셈다 곰비기 대바이나 곰바이나 사지 고번 톱투에 제가 코위 균 타달을 저제 타바다 탐지kim바 톱투에게 람 토야디야 규 곰난게 규 림바 냠는 제탄기 림바 차상 사지 켐바를 샤 현샤소라.
So realize refers to the Buddha having realized this progression, this continuity that keeps us enslaved and bound within cyclic existence. And moreover, he also realized not just what our current situation, the current situation of ordinary beings, but he realized the unmistaken path to complete freedom, to liberation from this current state of enslavement. And he didn't just realize this, it was taught, and he taught that one starts with the mind of refuge, and based on that, meditating on the suffering reality of cyclic existence, leading to the risal of the mind of definite emergence, the mind that is definite, that is certain about the need to emerge from the suffering realms of samsara, or to express it differently, the mind of renunciation, the mind that renounces the suffering of samsara. And then, based on this, the engagement in developing the practice of ethical conduct as a foundation to the generation or the attainment of concentration, and on the basis of concentration, meditating on emptiness, coming to develop a wisdom realizing emptiness. And in this way, there's a continuity of trainings, of practice, that leads to liberation. And if these are done conjoined with the mind of bodhicitta, the mind, in English, the mind of enlightenment, then the goal that is attained is not just liberation from cyclic existence for oneself, but Buddhahood itself, the state of perfection. So what Buddha Shakyamuni has come to realize is why suffering beings are enslaved or bound within the prison of samsara, as well as the unmistaken method to gain freedom from the prison of cyclic existence, and to attain the freedom of both liberation from samsara and enlightenment itself.
koale choya dan tarpa dan tamche kimbe kobang toba la nga zuki nyomo ge zawa densi marikpa saya de pang kore de pang de ganas pangre la na che tamche rashin yi majubo tobe tonyo tobe lo gomba la tene pang ko yo badi ane sangi gi dus kempares.
Having identified then that the root cause that keeps all ordinary beings bound within cyclic existence is this one mind of ignorance, in particular, the ignorance of self-grasping. So that being the root cause, keeping us bound in this prison, it is that needs to be abandoned. And furthermore, the Buddha realized that the way to abandon it is to apply the direct antidote, which is a mind of wisdom, in particular, the wisdom realizing emptiness.
Denigi Kenjin, the Sanyo Jumne Korongi, and Yamlenche, Dene, Sanyo Tobala, Jamniche, and Chachu Sem, Yamlenche, and Desuchasan, Yamlin Rimbati, Sanyo Koron Kenjin, Dene, Sanyo Jumne Korongi, Tambo Sanyo Jumne, Azuna, Sanji Heo Mare, Chesa didn't do in Jebache, Shimjuche, and Che, Padus. Nyamlen chigi sosogula and Nyamyon Sache, the Nigi, Nisu Chasan Kenje, and Mahazu Simjan Tamje, Dumana Jayata, Simjan Tamji, Digi Duyaga, Duandalia, and Nyamlenche, and the Kichi Lomon Bokawa Cheche, and the San Yoko Toba Regile.
The Buddha came to realize all of this, and he came to realize it by from the time when he was once an ordinary being just like us, when he would have been no different from how we are right now, he put all his energy into investigating the causes for being bound in cyclic existence, as well as the causes for attaining freedom from this bondage. And he investigated and he came to realize the causes that keep us bound, as well as the entire path to freedom. Then he trained in these methods, but in particular also generating the mind of bodhicitta, and he developed all of these realizations in his continuum with the sole motivation to be of benefit to others. And with this wish to be of benefit to others, he strove to become the most accomplished of beings, a Buddha. And he trained like this for unimaginable lifetimes, for eons of time, accumulating virtue, eliminating faulty ways of thinking, until he eventually arose as a Buddha.
Denegi and Yamlenji, Sanyo Jumne, or Sanjie, Sangie, Labdu, Dang, Gyun Chasa, Bangs, Bango, Gyun Chasa, Mavasu, Bangsache. Denegi, Shingo, Yundaru Chasa, Top Tower, the Nijila Sangie Sages. Says not Denegi, how Sangiene and Sanyo Jumne Digi. Semjelia, Chu Sunya de la Kamdang, Murbadan, and Delia, Murba the siege, Kamdang, Murba the Dungeon, Semjen Delia, Chu Dennis on the Consul Pando Chedo, Dennis on the Pando Chedo, Consul Yamlenja, Pando Cheda, Tus in the Yaha, Tus and Big Chasan, Chik, and the kind of thing who you may, and Dusik and Richly think who you may, and the chicken, Tus in a Chu. Kashila Saba Tinguera, Kashila Yanticus, Rabaro, Tung Sungueta, then they come down, Mabata, Chicken, Sambigi, and Duda, Nambakundu, Denge, Chasan, Duskine, and Kembare, Kingo Regile.
A being who is a Buddha has attained a particular state, and that state is described in the name for Buddha. So in Tibetan it's Sangye. And so there are two syllables to this word, sang and ge. And the one shows or means that all the stains on the mind, the afflictions together with their seeds and their imprints, are completely abandoned. So not a single trace of a fault remains within a being that is a Buddha. And the other syllable shows that all good qualities have been developed to a state of perfection. So that is what a being who is a Buddha has attained. complete perfection with eradication of even the slightest trace of a single fault. And with then being a perfected being, the Buddha is able to guide deluded ordinary beings such as ourselves in a precise manner in accordance with our own individual disposition and inclinations. In other words, our own personalities. He's able to guide each being individually in the manner which is most suited to them as a person, as a being. So to some he could teach the Dharma in a very profound manner. To others who wouldn't be able to relate well to such a presentation, he would teach in a far coarser manner. And in this way, he could skillfully guide beings in accordance with their own particular development at that time, and continue to guide them skillfully, guide them in their progression in accordance with their developing skills.
And soon you rest Sanya Jimne Dikichu, the Sunya Diang, Bajik, Wonga, Simjan Tam, Jokola, Chagodu, Simjan Dungat, and Chagodu, Simjan Digi, and Dengodu, Jisan Deni Dunga the Tela, and the Kasada, Diri Shevana, Dunga the Tela, and Samot and Gom, Yamlen Chenepa, Semper Juataji, Dunga Janamado, Shen Dunga Jatuya Mevare, Chisa Semper. Gyuwa tanya dene dene che gom gore nyamlen dene che gorsen che sanyi ane ngana zule de youtube ke tablam an dunga se ke tablam che pado meba song yo re che san semjen suma dia sanyi jumnen di ngana zule zewa ta jamzi che ne ane sanyi ke che pado meba song yo re che san seshin songba yi gar songba re se ne semjen tamje dunga ja ge tablam da de youtube ke tablam dene che gon dene gom gore sen dusun tablam di an sa yu songba song yo de bao do me ba song yo de de songba de ya an ga sen nga zu ya be zewa da jamje semjen dunga da jana sembe ge jamba da dewa da dewa da dana sembe jamba da dunga da jana sembe ge zewa di den da ran song che ne an du songba re che de
And in English, our third line, realized and taught. What the Buddha had realized, he came to realize it in order to benefit others. And as an enlightened being, when he arose as an enlightened being, that is precisely what he did. He shared all that he had realized. He shared the complete and unmistaken path to eliminate all the causes or to first identify the causes that keep beings bound in suffering, as well as the methods to eliminate those causes. Moreover, he taught what are the causes to be accomplished to lead to a state of lasting, uninterrupted happiness. And he taught the methods for achieving that. So here where we have the word taught, this refers to the vast array, the innumerable teachings that the Buddha gave. And he shared these with beings motivated by love and compassion for sentient beings, knowing how sentient beings long for happiness, but remain bound in a state of confusion, not knowing how to go about achieving happiness. And with this love and compassion, he taught innumerable methods to beings in accordance with their individual personalities, so that they could spiritually progress.
Temba lana mes, Ken, Sidra Kempas. Chisa Kemba, Chisa Denigi, Sanyu Jumden Digi, Dunga said, Dunga Kanaka Chung de Kemba, Dunga Seg, Denizio Kemba, Denigi Chue, Dea Namcha, Kamna Mabala, Samba Dunji Chue, Dea, Dusu, Kemba Masigida, Sanyu Jumden Digi Ken, Sanyu Jumden Digi, Zambuli Dinalaya, Chue Dinka, and Digi Druagi, Dutang. Lam Duncan Mambu Yungures, Ina, Sanyu Jumden Nashin Kemba, how Kohandi, Sanyu Jumden Nashish Mindu, Chesa, Sanyu Jumden did the Kemba, Shenle, Shandazule, Kemba, and Bear Kaba to Papa, the Resha as a Kemba. There's that Ken that the Nigi Kembu you did do. She's a Demba City, Chesa Chui Dinkan, Tablam Dinkan, the Udu, Duncan, Dumba Mango, the Ina, San Jumden did it, Dumpe Dinane, that I call Lana Yashu, San Jumden de la Suji Homar, Chesa, San Jumden de Nashin can be and then you have your mother, Meva and San Jumden de Nashin, Chui Dinkan, Dumba Bem, Masigi, Chapat Paparesha, has word.
In our second line, whose supreme omniscience, so a Buddha has this quality of omniscience where all phenomena are simultaneously known. So the Buddha, in each moment, knows all phenomena in the world. He understands he understands the individual dispositions of each and every being, what is keeping them bound, as well as the most bound in suffering, and the most skillful means for that being to lead them to a state of lasting happiness. And this quality of omniscience is something only found in a Buddha. Hence it's got the superlative of being supreme omniscience. Moreover, amongst the many founder teachers that have appeared over time in the world, those who have taught either religions or philosophies in order to benefit sentient beings, to ease the burden of suffering and to lead to a state of happiness for sentient beings, the Buddha is an unsurpassable teacher. And this is because of the qualities within that a Buddha has attained. And for this reason, there is no Buddha, no teacher who can be compared to the founder Buddha, Buddha Shakyamuni.
Chue Kanichi na Mazuki Duma Haya de Chesan Yudan Jen la Dine Yunguare, the Yudu the Yudan Jen la Dine Yungumato, Yudan Jen Matuache, and then Yonasio Mare, Mevan Sang Mazuki, Ganga Sege, Nyomomba, Bayake, Dunga, the Nyon, so Daxin, Denzi Marikpa de Yungore. Chesan Denzi Marikpa and Ma Baya Lea, and the Gargo was Dameba, don't you to be shared at the Kihore, to Gomcore. And Digomba la Tene, and then Banco, don't you to be shared at the Kanski Lana, Chisa Tenjin, George, or some Tache, and then to do Benedici, Nasakasana Sheba, Nashi, Chichi, Tene Yungu Pada, Denishe, Samata, Chisa Deni Tenjin, George, sometimes Kala, Dubam, Barangun, Juba, the Yomares, Chisa, Shen, Duni, Jubares, Tenjin, George, or Soares, Chisa Denigi, Tenjin, George, or Soati, that Dumbasan Yujumne, Mado, Shen, Dumba Mambogi, and Deniki, Sungo, Mares, Chisa Denigi, Tenjin, George, or Che Tamja, Rangun, and Majubare, Chet and Rashing to be Tombare, Chisa Denigi Tomba, Topi, Lodi, Gombala, Tene. San Tarbat Paso Nyomo Banguri said, Deni Namja Sungandida, San Jumden de Mato Shan Suji Sungo Marisa, Deni is a San Jumden de Dumbinane, Dumba Kapa the Papare, Imbi Gumzero, it is
Now in our fourth line, the conquering dependence arising. So Buddha Shakyamuni, through he himself, having investigated through the reasonings of dependence arising and meditated and come to realize a reality or emptiness based on the presentation of dependence arising, he eventually attained enlightenment. So he knew, not just merely based on knowledge, but also on direct experience, his own personal experience, that all happiness that is experienced, all suffering that is experienced, comes about in dependence on causes and conditions. There's no wanted or unwanted situation that comes about in any way other than in dependence on causes and conditions. And moreover, he came to realize, so not just have a mere intellectual understanding, but realize that the root cause that keeps beings bound in suffering is ignorance or self-grasping. And moreover, he came to realize that the direct antidote is the wisdom realizing emptiness. And how to cultivate this direct antidote? Through the presentation on dependence arising, as we've already had covered in the previous sessions, where we come to understand that there's nothing that exists, no phenomenon at all, that is independent Rather, all phenomena are dependent. And through meditating on this in ever more detail, one comes to an understanding of emptiness of inherent existence. And this is an understanding that only Buddha Shakyamuni had come to and taught. So this presentation of dependent arising is only taught by Buddha Shakyamuni, hence he is described as the unsurpassable teacher.
Sanju Jumden Digi Sunyadi, Tinjin Toa, Gudan Jan Latini on the Digi Jubia, that is so Ganga Yonadi, Gudan Jan Latini Yungore, and the Digi Yonadi, Gudan Jan Latini Yungore. She's not now to Gudi Yaposik, Digi Gudi Yapo Druina, and the Tewa Digi Yungres. Zangazo Dunga Gudi Ba Sebaina, and then Dunga Yungumares. She's not Deniza, the Yanzugi Gutuptata. 타지 지나 상유 점된 되게 최들이야 이게 배네 저기 다 냠래 약보체 최 냠래제 롭정 약보체 최위 터네 퇴 안에 지도 다대 양내 양의 삼당 디네 고미야들이야 곰발라 안에 띵 켜바치 고고마도 밀리 하다 미 띵지 마토바 있나 둔조로 시켜와 렘바이나 네네 저기 최 냐 고갑라 롭정 지야 고갑라 말에 띵이 dob게 안에 안지게 곰자라기 말에 디네자 아주 개와 치마 다된 아주 미래 제상 개와 치마리네 둔조를 맞게와지 미류 토야 하다 미류 토에 배전 제고 그래 디규사고 그래서 제가 둔조를 개와래 바이나 아니 가서래 최지야 고갑다 아니 지게 냠는 지야 고브라도 그거 말레스 안디나신 아주 미 통화에 둔조시 통화 메데다 이다다 아니 냐와 봐야죠 대소를 개와래 바인다 가지래 냐와 이다 둔조를 개와래 바이나 최지야 고갑을 말에 아주 냠는 지야도 곰지야 고갑다 롭정 지야 고갑을 말레스 매바자 랑기 롭정 지야다 냠는 지야만 현래 펜버 주비야 고갑이라고 말레스 지자다 랑기 냠는 지야 고갑라야 당 최 냠렌제 semba sambo 냠렌제 다 소소게 뇽몽 빠야리아 고합된 캬바진에 가르슨 미율이나 헤임을 하다 미고 받된디레스 진짜 당보 가서 냠렌제를 땡 약고 싶고래 디 땡디 약고 주비에게 돈달라 아주 가르 냠렌제 고래라나 아니 규가르 사고래라나 안데시 쇼게 가사단 디리쇼가 셰바나신 아니 아주기 수름소에 릉아 있으면 관에 예제된 수름소야 하다 아니 진배 냠렌제 수름 쇠배 냠렌제 전에 냠렌제 어두소 디스 아니 몰람 냠렌제 어두스네 어두스 제고래 그래서 하다 미고 번토빌 데니스 냠네 디수투고 그래서 유튜브 타디 산이점네 디송고래
The Buddha taught that all suffering we experience comes about in dependence on causes. The happiness we experience, this too comes about in dependence on causes. So therefore, the causes need to be identified well, so that the causes that lead to suffering can be avoided, the causes that lead to happiness can be accumulated. Moreover, that for a desired result to come about, those causes need to be accumulated completely and well. The greater the strength of the cause, the greater the resulting effect will be. So how does one go about accumulating the causes for lasting happiness, as well as to ensure that one does not accumulate causes that lead to suffering? Well, to be able to train it like this, one has to receive instruction, to be guided, to be trained, to receive knowledge, and then cultivate that, to meditate on that, to develop it within one's own mind. In order to be able to do that, one needs a particular quality of rebirth. Not any being can do this. If we think of the situation of beings in other realms, such as animals or spirits or beings in the hell realms, they do not have the opportunity to receive as Dharma teachings. They do not have the opportunity to receive and understand Dharma teachings, to meditate on them, to cultivate their behavior. Not only is their suffering too profound, but they lack the capacity to be able to train like this. And we can observe this in the world. We cannot point to animals and say, yes, this one or that one lives a meaningful life. This is something that's only a possibility for humans and gods, so beings with a happier migration. Through having a basis such as we have, a rebirth of a precious human rebirth, we can spiritually develop, we can spiritually progress through receiving valid instructions, investigating these, meditating on these. And in this way, we can transform our way of thinking and live a life of meaning. And in order to do this, we need a continuity of good rebirths. If one falls into the suffering lower realms, the opportunity ceases. In the lower realms, these opportunities are not there. So therefore, as we heard earlier, the causes for good rebirths, we need to apply ourselves to accumulating those, cultivating the minds of ethical conduct, of generosity, of patience, joyous perseverance, those four, together with prayer. In this way, we accumulate the causes to ensure that we continue to have good rebirths.
Mi ten delia and Chiki ten delia Namju Shu Bishu Dan Yutike, Namju Shu Yuba, Namju Yuba Nashin, Bishu Dan Tua Chagore. Sinada Dundoro Chita, Jeniki Chine, Ribaroch, Namju and the Minashin, Namju Yomade, Yuba Inayang, Des Yovane, Cross Yuba Nashin, Bishu Dan Tua Yomade. Then Azuki Milia, Shoko Yomade, Inea. 다른 것이 오전에 지금 남주 비슷한 남주 수에는 다른 보다 남도를 봐 반항을 봐 좋아진 다른 부조에 수에 좋두고래 아니 미기 지금 남주 비슷한 추나를 마 좋아해 수에 두고래 산나를 좋아해 수에 두고래 지두고래 그래서 아니 대사 미기 남주 비슷한 배 취재자라 쇼 배제 침부 수에 두고래 그래서 제가 미 남주 여반자 밀리에 남주 되는 장아도 sempre 교화다야 당 지금 영모 봐야라 안 지금 남 지금 냠는 잠 이제 냠는 제대 가서 남주 시우 여대 봐서 되니기 남주의 배셔다 냠는 제바는 되니기 야기 좋아요 돼 남주 캬바지는 자 여대 봐 차고 제가 된 되니기 캬바지 시우래 제가 되니 인상 먼저 하다 미电下的토야디 마시기 가서 냠는 제알이야 아니 지금 대기 주야당 아니 동아세야라 된디 지금 약쇼 차대요. 그래서 대인자 상유점난 되기 된디 토야기 돈달라 냠는 되는 제고래서 송발에 제로.
If we think of the situation of animals, whilst it's undoubted that they have good qualities, where they particularly differ from humans is in terms of their intelligence and their capacity to utilize the intelligence they have. So in Buddhism, there's a focus on using our intelligence, using our reasoning. Animals, they really struggle in this regard. Even the intelligence they have, they struggle to use well. They struggle to solve the problems and difficulties that they encounter, and they struggle to develop their situation further. Humans, our bodies aren't particularly fabulous. When comparing to different animals, they have many physical qualities that far exceed what we have. But yet we are the only animal that can fly all over the world through what we've developed with our intelligence, as well as go deep into the ocean, deep underground, and even fly beyond this world. No other animal can do this. So despite this limited body, because of this powerful intelligence, we can do quite amazing things. No more so than with our inner world. And therefore, what the Buddha taught, it's imperative that now that we've attained such an amazing rebirth, to use this life, to live a meaningful life, including ensuring we accumulate the causes that will lead to continued opportunities in our future lives, to develop spiritually and to become a being that can be of greatest benefit and have a lasting, meaningful impact on the lives of others.
And in the Dana middle had a me, Jawa, Lenada, Dikor Besna, 但第什么这个嘛的，这当没有点的，他没点了，样子去年们这了，现在偏不主要的，别嘛这个那么就必须当这你本来刚忙不些，当第一忙不主要必须做突破的，呢，但没这什么这个嘛的，刚才样子没叫来白呢，那也才有忙不要的没了呀，那这个苏波了，那这那呀，那这那要的，那什么叫我差要的，这个怎么着，那这卡拉当推荐那中啊。出现的那个刚啊，但没理啊，刚啊，忙不用过来是，其实那现在俺的让没办这些个没什么呢，俺这个让没办那这来当牛毛往给俺这西周呀当，俺这个俺这个白这干过桥周呀当，的那个刚啊忙不绝对的是，其实那上。俺这没理个顿着当，这说起那俺就刚刚当，那么就要我修第一呀哈热的，一那样俺这没他当没理啊，弄啊的刚刚忙不绝对，其实你刚刚他过来操作，其实你刚刚的来他这的那个刚刚的来他这呢，他把些拖把一那，俺的那个当绿的那这的，什么有弄啊的，刚刚是早一点要嘛的是，其实的那个他把些拖不过来是，其实俺这没绿当。他当没过往拖把，第怎么这个嘛的，对理工嘛，他把些拖过来些些，那送过来。
This rebirth we've attained and need to continue to attain is something that we need to gain clarity of and ensure that we strive for this. However, this alone is not enough. Merely being born as a human or as a god is insufficient. And this we do know from our own experience, that whilst our rebirth is one of great fortune, we still know from what we've experienced and what we observe in the world, beings still suffer so many problems. And whilst in many ways the world is developing fantastic techniques to limit physical suffering and to improve the situation of humans, we can't bring an end to suffering through mere material development. So through using this phenomenal human intelligence and developing the world, the outer world in so many amazing ways, this alone cannot lead to an ending of physical and mental suffering. That alone cannot bring an end to uncontrolled death, or death coming at a time and a manner not of our choosing. It cannot bring an end to all the sufferings that come with old age. It cannot bring to an end all the other sufferings that come from illness, and as well as all the mental sufferings and anguish that we experience in our lives. So therefore, whilst a human rebirth such as we have attained is essential and so important, and we need to continue to achieve such rebirths, that alone is insufficient. We need to attain liberation from this current state of always being in danger of death, where death can fall us in any way, in any manner. And there's always the potential for illness to befall us and other severe sufferings to befall us. The only solution to this is to attain liberation from cyclic existence, freedom from this state. So therefore, whilst a rebirth such as we have is essential, this alone is insufficient. Liberation is required.
但是上的那个他把托白呢，那他把托有个人来点来托过来点，这具体见了点来托过在。具体见个人进的托，个人烧过来，有个人烧过来，跟着你们结过来，那么俺上有专门的一点呀，俺这个他把推下来呀，那个是科学的呀，科学呀，捐什么当或者是科学捐，变得他甚至经常在米当，俺炖着当，吃啥呀，你那是用呀当，刚刚的用都是比捐的什么当有的，但是捐的芒果什么当的捐的嘞，还有呢。捐的了，他这个什么的，捐的了的他糊涂生病那个的，其实丢进了什么单的，真捐的了的他糊涂，他把些的他糊涂生病严重什么的，啊，你讲过来是严重些，其实这些我这金巴的出诊说吧，专注原本的讲了呀，严重些，靠的了他糊涂生病什么的给，其实你给呢，那干的是他过来了呢，其实他的了呀，新年主，那新年主是定义这个。다음에 봐 또 동이 또 비셔라 냠내지 디 냠는 제발에 되네 target 다 가상 슈바 가상나 드린 슈바나 지바데 진바 추준서바 준리 냠는 제 안데라 안지 삼단다 띵이진다 안 다음에 봐도 비 셰랍 동이 또비 셰랍 냠는 니 냠는 제발에 되네 타바 톱투 그래 제가 타바 톱 왜 나가서 니 냠는 제 그래서 그래.
This essential state of liberation from suffering comes about, as we've heard, in dependence on causes and conditions. And what are those? Well, in addition to what we've already heard about the need to engage in the practices of generosity, patience, ethical conduct, joyous perseverance, we also need to engage in the cultivation of concentration and the wisdom realizing selflessness. So those we've heard before, but what we also need to add to this is one needs to engage in intensive meditation on the situation that is samsara, that is cyclic existence, and come to a clear understanding that suffering pervades the experience of beings as long as they remain bound in samsara. We need to come to understand the suffering experiences that exist throughout the realms. We can think about animals, and certainly in particular we need to think about the human situation and come to understand how suffering pervades our experiences. And in this way, leading to a mind of definite emergence, a mind that is definite about needing to emerge from the sufferings of samsara and strive with all our energy to attain liberation. Or to express it differently, to meditating on the sufferings of samsara so that we renounce samsara itself with the commitment then to strive to attain liberation from suffering.
dene tarpa tsam toba zin da jigiri lamna da dele yasangi jumne dige tarpa top soso rarang da anda tarpa top sawa toba ina ane gorwi gi dunga nyoya da lugi nasa semyu dunga na gyune yo mara ane gidi ine dewa jangya res soso rarang jibule dewa jangya re ina ya da nganzo soso rarang digi duwa re de di semgi digi yo mares pena ngānsu sōsōrāna ngānsu pūrūp shē, ngānsu jibu shū jīngā sōsōrāna jibu shū shē bēnā sōsō pāma dīgī kāngā shū chūng dī bēnā sōsō jibu jī dēnā ngānsu kōlu yu kēn pāma dīgī kāngā shū yōng dēnā dī dīgī mārū wās jīsāng sōsō jibu nāngshī kōwa nā pāma dīgī kāngā dīlē sē shē kāngā dīlē dūngā dīlē kyō kūgūrū wās dī nāngshī dā ngānsu semchēn sē dī bē rāng liyā bē kērīn chēmbō dā rīn chēmbō shū rēs jīsāng semchēn sē shā dā semchēn sē dī 지상 딘 첨보다 그딘 첨보레스 지상 소소리아 그딘 첨보 판도 첨보 슈 인자 아주이 텔리아 아니 딘레로 좀 저거레스 지상 semjen 차상 랑 디기 고바나진 콘솔레 디기 고고레 나솔레 둥아 먹어바나진 콘솔레 둥아 고고 말 지상 semjen 탐지기 둥아 세고 고레 디기 두고 고고레스 지상 semjen 탐지기다 소소 디기 여바다 디 둥아 세와 좀 마산 바시다 semjen 탐지 디기 두여다 둥아 세야레 베준 제고 고레스 디 제기 돈달라 안 가르치 고레랍나 디 잠니 조금 고레스 잠니 조금 아니 잠니 주고 자주 셈 공부했어. 지사 셈전 탐주 동화나 제된 디유 주의 최된 가강한 세디 상계를 하고 줘 말이야. 상계 나신이 가지고 상계를 상계 고바 토부 지사 셈전 탐지 디유 주의 동화세라 상계 고바 토부 그랬어. 지사다 상계 고바 토비하기 된다라 니 가지고 규가를 싸고 배제 같이 오르려나 난 대신 가지고 진바 출연 저바 준비 근데 something 다음에 또 싫어 공부하디 죽디 이해 받지로디 디강래야 가르 공부해서 잠바단 제와신 심제 탐지 래 잠바 공부하다 제와 공부하다 근데 심제 탐지도 어사요고 봐 심제 탐지 동안에 자와다 해지기 심제 탐지를 디유에 해지기 세비 괜찮게 오래서 괜찮네 되네 심제 탐지도 달라는 게 사요고 봐 톱구도 톱어쇼 sembe 자주 셈게 공제 어디 디 공부해야 제가 파준 주게 냠는 나 자주심 잠니지 공부하기 디 냠는 저거래 디 냠는 제반은 산유고방 톱투 그래서 지난 산유고방 톱투바 있나 되는 장례 판박에 좀 톱투 그래서 그래 진짜 되네 인자다 되네게 산유고방 톱에게 된다에 탈람 개받침 비치게 남샤 송어와.
As we've heard, merely accumulating causes and attaining the result of good rebirths is insufficient in that we have the capacity as humans to achieve something far greater. We have the capacity to attain a state of liberation, a state liberated from suffering, a state where one abides in lasting, stable happiness, a happiness that is not interrupted by even a moment of slight suffering. We have that capacity. So therefore, we should be striving for a greater goal than merely a good rebirth. But if we think a little bit further, we come to see that actually even a goal of liberation, that is something that is also insufficient, in that we as human beings have the capacity to live a life of even greater meaning than striving for such a state. We have the capacity to achieve enlightenment itself, to become a Buddha ourselves. And why is this? Why is it said that liberation is insufficient? It's because not only do we have the capacity to go to achieve something far greater, but if we think with realism about the situation in samsara, if we're striving for liberation, means we're striving for our own individual liberation, our own state of individual freedom from suffering. And that means all our energy is being placed into our own happiness, and our happiness alone. And if in our journey benefit comes to others, that's great, but that's not our primary objective. And if we think of the situation that we've experienced in this world, when people have directly shown us so much kindness, such as when we were young and our parents cared for us, how can it be appropriate just to be acting like a happy-go-lucky child whose all needs are taken care of and they can just have a good time, but their parents are going through tremendous hardship, and the child is almost oblivious or unknowing to the hardship that their parents are going through? When we now have reflected on the state of samsara and the causes of suffering and the causes of happiness, we understand very clearly the situation that our loved ones are in, that all ordinary beings are in. So therefore, it can hardly be appropriate when we have the capacity to actually be of greatest benefit to others, to only strive for our own welfare. So therefore, one's encouraged that in addition to the practices that have been mentioned before, first giving rise to the mind of definite emergence, and through having reflected on the sufferings of samsara, then also engaging in the practices of ethical conduct and generosity and patience, joyous perseverance, concentration, and developing wisdom. Engaging in all of those, but whilst also cultivating a motivation of bodhicitta, reflecting on the suffering that others are experiencing, and that they are actually no different from myself. They are suffering due to the same causes that I am suffering. They long for the same state of lasting happiness that I long for. Yet they remain lost in confusion, not knowing why they're suffering, not knowing how to attain liberation. I now have this knowledge. Through my spiritual development, I need to do this not merely for one being alone, but for all beings. I need to develop my capacity, use my intelligence, develop my capacity, so that I can be of great benefit to others. And here we generate, through reflecting on the kindness that others have shown, we develop this wish of love. May they experience only happiness, and develop the mind of compassion. May all beings be freed of suffering. And we develop these minds to the point where the state of others is our own responsibility. That others are guided to a state liberated from suffering, that is our responsibility. And this mind that taking responsibility for the situation of others is the altruistic attitude of universal responsibility. And when this arises within us in a powerful manner, then we naturally look at how we can become such a skilled guide, how we can lead beings in accordance with their individual personalities, guide them in how to abandon the causes of suffering and cultivate the causes of happiness. And this leads us to strive to become a Buddha for the sake of others. This is the mind of bodhicitta, and with this mind present, where we're striving for Buddhahood so that we can become the most skilled of guides to benefit others, we engage in those same practices from generosity up to wisdom, but with this differing motivation, this motivation of bodhicitta.
Dene inza, ane sanye jumnendigi sekshen domba dela du sinjere mchige, denege sanye jumnendigi, dat nyema korongi denege chazan hago si che, ane ya sanye jumnende korongi ngarazu semje tam chige dondalia nyamlen lo mongpo relia kawa che, ane nyamlen che sanye kopang top, dene sanye kopang top ne yanganzolya che ngarazu dunga seya ta dikyu chubiyage tablam denege sonsha pade pe mase yawo shuresha jenza dene enza sanye jumne le deba ta guba shu ke sonse borda de section domba de la dus denege ya anzul ya dus 결혼게 되는 냠난제 결혼을 쓰기 대제 완전이야 롭된 나와도 빼 맛이 야고래 사실.
Having engaged in the meditation just described, that results in this overwhelming feeling to be of benefit to others, to live a life of meaning, a life where we're striving to ease the burden and suffering of others. We then turn our reflection back to Buddha Shakyamuni, realizing that this was a process that when he was an ordinary being just like ourselves, he went through. And he developed it to the point where he actually generated bodhicitta. And for countless eons of time, he went through innumerable hardships in order to accumulate virtue and purify negativities, all for our benefit, all so that he could become a being that is perfected and thereby having the most meaningful of impacts on the lives of people just like myself. And in thinking like that, faith and respect arises towards the Buddha, appreciation for all the effort that he endured for our sake. And that is then what is meant by what we have at the very start of this verse. I bow down, or I pay homage, I offer salutation to the Buddha. And this comes from deep within us, with faith and respect towards the Buddha for all that he has done for our sake.
제 원기 나도 동화세야 다 디규르야 탑람데 송샤바 델야 만주기 베지 침보치네 냠네 제고레스 만주기 냠네 제바이나 나아주이네 상여쯤된 나신 안에 담직힘 보고 톱투레스 제자 상여쯤된 디규 송샤비게 송교 델야 만주기 지마신 지네 냠네 제 근데 상여쯤된 송유 최대 야네 양도 퇴네 디던다데 야네 양도 삼당 내 don다데 하고데 델야 곰갑 또 제바이네 상인 상여고 톱투레 제자 나라이네 데네기 냠네 난고요 결혼수이네 아주 동아 미디어바레 동아 타고로 디기 두고고레 데네자 두치네 냠네 난고고레에서 송거다.
This text was composed by Lama Tsongkhapa, and as an expression of his deep gratitude to the Buddha. So what has just been described arose within Geshe Rinpoche's mind, and with respect and faith for the Buddha, he composed this text. And if we reflect in the same way, a similar response will come to us. And the purpose of this composition is to give advice to his students, both then and in the future, such as ourselves. So by composing this verse, Geshe Rinpoche is saying to us that I myself, Lama Tsongkhapa, I have trained just like the being who then became Buddha Shakyamuni did. And I took the training that the being that became Buddha Shakyamuni, that he went through, as my inspiration. And I have made great effort in following his advice exactly as has been presented. And I have been able to achieve the same result. So you, who are no different from me in that we all long for happiness, we all long for freedom from pain and difficulty, follow my example, follow the example of the Buddha. We all have the capacity, or you all have the capacity, to go beyond suffering, to develop yourselves to a state far beyond what you've ever experienced. You have the capacity. All you need to do is train in the same way that I have done and Buddha Shakyamuni did, and doing so with diligence over a sustained period, you will transform your lives and live a life of true meaning.
Delia and John Raska Maricere. Bene Michiki Sheba Nashing as in Yambaina and some John Yorvada. The Misungan Delia, Korongi Kevin Duviana, Kevin Duviada, Korongi Digiana, Korongi Kevin Duvia, Dondala, Manzo Dice or Dice or Labna, Manzo Chike Quesheba Nashing, Jabaina, there Mazul John Yorvado. Susuki Kevin Michiki, Koron Kevin Duya, Dondala, O Chorandi, Midelia Chichi, Design Chichi, or Tangore, said Ma Labjama, Quesheba, Najin Jena, and John Ray in Ayore. Chisada, Sanye Jumnan, the Sunya, Sunya in Anzolia, to Jehore Sunya, the Chazan, Sanye Jumnan, the Koron Kevin Dondada, Koronia, and Digituya Dondala, Sao in the Sungo Mares, Carasine. Ding around so round the Kevin Duya, around to Digituada, around to Dumasea Dona Sungora Carson, Zewong Sungores, she's not Jambat and Zewong, around to the Jambat and Zewa Yobanza, Manzo Duma Sena Sembeta, Ganga de Majuna Sungore, the names are Delia Tap Nortu Sungmares, she's not Pembach Sungore, she's a San Jumen, the Sumba Naji Yamnangela, Manzo the Jonra Kunia, Pembach Mato, Jonra Yomarcasene, San Jumen, the answer Zewa Yores. Zewa Yobanza, Manzula Digi Tuyada, Duma Seagi, Ditapam Tungo, Zewa Yoban. Zewa Mevache, Anjora Digi or Digumbo Labna, then Yona and Yorvada, she's not the nature of San Jim, so I think Zeung Sumares. Zeung Sumaenza, and Anzulia Gamatiga, she's not Zeung Dene Jebain, Digi Tuyada, Duma Se Tugures or.
So whilst in the world, people giving us advice or telling us, do this, do that, when we receive this, it's important that we investigate, because they are wanting us to do certain things or not do certain things which are in accordance with their own wishes, what they want. They want their own happiness, and they're wanting us to either do something or not do something so that they can achieve their own happiness. So it's their motivation is tainted by self-interest. Their advice may be good, it may not be, but their motivation is tainted with self-interest. However, that is not the case in the Buddha Dharma, in that a Buddha, in this case Buddha Shakyamuni, is a being with perfected qualities and not a trace of a fault. That is by definition a Buddha. So therefore, with a motivation free of any self-interest, a motivation of pure love and pure compassion and uncompromised wisdom, the Buddha has presented a complete and unmistaken path to abandon suffering and to achieve lasting, stable happiness. So this is something that we need to investigate for ourselves, and then with confidence, we need to receive this guidance and implement it, cultivate it within our own minds.
Lava Nashi, San Yuchum, you Sumba Naji, and Yamlin and Jehurwa, the Neza, so Digi Tuya, the Duma said in the say Kuwazan and Yamlan Jehur, the Neza, Azugi, Karsam Dangoresine, the she San Yuchum, the Nitin Azugo, Latami, Kobantoya, the Diniki, Lamdin Nashavadi, and the Karsam Dangoresine. Jugi Shogania, Lanya, the Easy, the Ninga, some died all that didn't Shanlia, Lunga Yusum Yukone, and then how you can Shanlia to share that. You go doing Shokohatayada, Saukin the Jimmy. And then Lu Yukone and Shanlia, or Jigny Dong Tire, or Jig to the Tire or so. Lu Yukone Shanlia, Nubisha was a Saukin Jimmy. Now some Lonalia, some long and by Kech, Shalia, Nubia, some Oga Kotagamaji Juna, some other Dinigi. Lunga Yusum Yugane Shala, Nubia was Saudi, Chimia, some lady, Sugar Higher than other years said, and this some she quarter, some down. This some of the other immediate Gazio Kortubne, 디 야네 야도 삼당고 거래 디 삼다데 추름 송와라 거래 추름 송와 가 송고서는 송라데 지가고와 송라데 가고와 지사 산삼리아 마미기 근데 송고와 지사 추용주고 말아 데네 삼다데 가서 가서서는 마즈리 현래 네버기야다 현래 추습시야다 현고다 현구마자게 삼로데 리고마 디 삼송 삼다 지사 디수 송고래 가서 네게 자워로 수레서는 ngazu kongcho xianle nebe samba xian kuma kuya samla samba xian kuhor tanya sam chesan disu chawo re azu yuen disu li go re chesan disu nga jigme sambe song yo du samla di tang yo du kuma kuya ge samla li ge mare jun xie ge samla li ge mare xian kuhor tanya samla li ge mare deni ge samla ma le du ani lu yu ko ne ani xian le chu su xie ge mare Lujugo numgyo shanla new mare, Nobatima Nagone shanla two shigma, Lujugo Kuma Yingmara, Tenisa, Manzo Dison at the bed, Yeshimo Shuresh, she said this room said this or Dingazo, some Yane, Tadi, Imichilia, Antichogenia, Large, Nimene, Kaze, Mahata, Tubne, some of the new church, Gom said the nigger, some of the Yane, Yando, some cheaper church, new church died as he got it. She said this some of the Yane and the Tango, the Yeshimo Chagore.
Wanting to experience only happiness and be freed of suffering, we need to train just like those who have achieved such a state did, Buddha Shakyamuni, Je Rinpoche, and others. So the meditation then that we start out with is when we wake up in the morning, we reflect and generate the motivation that today I will bring no harm to others. I will not only ensure that I don't physically harm others, also with my speech, I will not bring harm to others. And those, not only will I stop that direction of harm, physical and verbal, but my mind is my responsibility. And I will take responsibility for my mind, ensuring that even mentally, I'm not allowing my mind to go in a direction of harm towards others. So what we're doing here as the beginning step for meditation is cultivating the mind of ethical conduct, this mind of restraint. So guarding our ethical conduct, there's this word guarding. So this explains what the purpose of ethical conduct is. And if we think of the role of guarding in the world, whether it's done by law enforcement or in other forms in our society, it's to protect against harm. And who is it that actually causes us harm? Who are our true enemies? These don't exist outside of us. These are our own minds, such as anger, such as deceit, such as harmful intent, such as divisive speech. These are the minds that create negative karma and lead to suffering. So these are our true enemies, and these minds within us are what we need to guard ourselves against. So the practice of ethical conduct means guarding ourselves from our own inner enemies, not allowing those enemies to arise and take control of our mind and our resulting physical and verbal activities. So if we meditate in this way every day, there will come a change in our behavior. So this word meditation can be equally translated as habituation or familiarization. So that is the meaning of meditation. It's meditating again and again on, for example, why one should not bring harm to others, how not to bring harm to others, and so forth. And thinking through this, role-playing it again and again, one gains familiarity with a new way of thinking and weakens our familiarity with a harmful way of thinking. And if we do this repeatedly over a sustained period, change will definitely come. And this is why one is encouraged to engage in meditation repeatedly over a sustained period, because that is how change comes.
누치네 삼로데 장도를 채고 진짜 삼로데 뉴버처럼 땅고 거래 다들 안 저게 되니기 따꾸마고 마고하다 되네 삼로 여바디 뉴버처럼 땅고 같이 그 공부했네 슈 뉴버처럼 주고 뉴버처럼 같이 줘버네 아 저기 라다 미고방 토야기 규디 야줘야다 타바다 탐지 김비 고방 토야래 타 년을 주고 그래 제가 되네 인사 디 저기 그시 고마고야다 되네 맞아봐 이내야 지금 매봐 이내 삼로디 장고야 돼 야네야나 삼동고야 돼 가서 우리 뉴버처럼 다야다 뉴버처럼은 타바다 탐지 김비 고방 토발에 다 년을 주고 그래 라다 미고방 토이 규디 뉴버처럼 주고 그래.
When you think about the presentations on unethical behavior, such as killing and stealing and so forth, there will be many things there that I'm sure you'll point to and say, well, I don't do this and I don't do that. And whilst this certainly is the case, this commitment not to do them still needs to be cultivated within us. Because while certainly varying degrees of subtler non-virtuous or unethical behavior one does engage in, the coarser forms that one doesn't, one should still develop the determination not to do so. That in no situation is it suitable to act in this way. Because through developing this ever stronger commitment, for example, not to take life, even if one doesn't, this is still creating an ever stronger mind of ethical conduct, thereby creating an ever stronger cause for good rebirths and causes that bring the liberation and enlightenment itself ever closer. So even if one has very good ethical conduct and one's mind is well restrained, still there's a need to cultivate the attitude or the mind of ethical conduct.
다니네 진배 냠내 제들이 진배 냠내 세야디 저기 삼로타이들이 진짜 다 소수기 류 롱주 가래 이내 현리에 폐비되는 당긴 선배 삼로타이들이 진짜 저기 되니게 삼로타이들 자야디 계시모래 나저 가르네 세나 지어다 아주 지금 류 변조로 현리 담배나 땅 땅수 말서 소수기 아니 류기든 자와제 땅통을 아주 디가야 된다라 하는 아주 류 롱주 소수기 개화사시베 개화디게 차상 심전 제 심전 담지 디기 주야다 심전 동화세 된다는게 컨트롤에 땅이 선비기 아니 삼로디 장고 그래 이내 당한 저기 현리야 교호 동화세다 강아지야래 소수기 때 변조로 지다 뉴버로 줘봐이나 소수기 로과지야다 치고 부야다 지기 인지 밑에 뒤에 매와이네 삼로도 다이데 계시셔다 진비 냠는 제스도 삼로 다이데 저 삼로 다이데 이 달직 변조로 토되나 현리야 로바 강도도 지긴세다 소수기 연대로 지나 디 현리야 판바 직 두투고 지긴세다 소수기 류기 되네 자화제 대야 현기 팬비 된다는 까지 로바 제투에 지긴산바다 소수기 안에 직 개화를 가지다 참라도 개화 기주로도 디네 개화사지데 개화디기야 현심전 담지 디기 주에 된다 동화세에 된다라 땅기 선비 니 삼로데 안에 양도 자야 되래 니 삼로 따야 당한 저기 진비 냠는 지기에서 인지민지 파제 수제 되는 제대로는 차상 조로제 나들이 샤요 마든 조선데 내는 강할 체냐요로 되네자 되네 말에다고 진비 냠는 지도 삼로 따야 되래 등이 되네기 다류 롱조에 가래나 샹레 팬빙아랑 여러분이 다 가래지나 샹레 팬비치도 땅이 삼배 삼로데 야네 따야 되래 니 삼로데 양도 쳐야 되래 진비 냠내 써야 돼.
그렇죠. 그럼 프로 단계에 상비로.
It's only a seek the connection when you move you're right there.
The first practice that we then looked at now is that of ethics, and the second then is that of generosity. So the word that's usually translated as practice, literally it means to gain experience of. So when you hear about a Buddhist practice or practice generosity, understand it in meaning to gain experience of, because this makes it clearer one is trying to develop an attitude, an outlook, a particular mind. So we're trying to generate through the practice of generosity, we're developing a generous attitude. And so this is important because Buddhism is about developing our minds. That is the primary objective. So the attitude of generosity is the wish to give. It's the wish to aid others who are suffering. It's a wish to give and be of benefit to suffering sentient beings. And it's a particularly important practice because we have our attitude is one of a we have a very selfish attitude, a self-centered attitude. What we consider what is ours to be ours and for our benefit. And whilst we all have, to degrees, the mind of generosity and happy to give, that only goes so far. We very much have this self-centered attitude of caring for ourselves and ourselves first and foremost. So what we're trying to do with the cultivation of training in generosity is to develop an attitude that is much broader, to have an appreciation of what we have, to have an appreciation for the situation that others find themselves in, and to develop the wish to be of benefit to others. So here what we're trying to do is develop an attitude of wanting to help others, wanting to bring benefit to others, to ease this burden of suffering to others. So this is the mind of giving. And what's important to understand with generosity or with giving is that the way this term is usually used is that when we hear the word, we immediately think of giving of material goods. And we all think of giving to people who are impoverished and so forth. And this is certainly good to do. But remember, we're developing an attitude here. So for example, in your meditations, when you dedicate all the virtue that with effort you've accumulated from listening to teachings and meditating on them, this merit, these causes of happiness. Give this to others. Dedicate this to the welfare of others. And doing this again and again, we start then to have the attitude of, I'm going to listen to teaching so I can spiritually develop and give my qualities to others. I'm going to enter into a meditation session now so I can develop good qualities in my mind and I can give that to others. So in this way, we're developing a generous attitude, a wish to give happiness to others, a wish to be of benefit to others. So whilst there is the practice of giving material goods, and this should be done, always do so with wisdom. We help others materially, we help others with our skills and our talents in accordance with our needs. With our abilities. As we develop our abilities, we can be of ever greater benefit to others. But right now, do not understand this practice in, oh, I must give everything away, I must keep nothing for myself, I must put others first. That understanding is mistaken. We help others in accordance with our abilities. And as we develop our abilities, we can help them more broadly, in vaster ways.
Tangi sampe samlodi samtaidere di jimbare jimbe nyamne jimbadere chisanga zo teya di jimbe je lagire chisanga jimba se de samta ni lunga yu sha karin shanlia pembi duya shan di se di duya da kanga se da tegin tangi sampe samlodire di samlodi yane yando janggo gore di samlodi nuba chara tango gore dine yenza di taidela jimbe nyamne so di jimba se.
These two meditations, and in brief, that I encourage you to engage in each day, is to firstly, when you develop the ethical mind, the mind that says, I will not harm others, I will not physically harm others, I will not talk in a way that brings harm to others, and I will take control of responsibility for my own mind, not allowing it to go in a direction of harm. Then the accompanying meditation is that of generosity. So the mind of ethics is the mind of restraint that will not harm. The mind of generosity is the wish to be of benefit to others. So we develop through the practice of generosity the wish to benefit others, whether materially, whether it's through sharing our advice, our knowledge, our expertise, whether it's giving our virtue, the roots of happiness to others. What we are developing here is this twofold approach of the commitment not to harm others, and the commitment to live a life of benefit to others.
Atisha Subi Yamlin Cheda, Subi, then the Niki Samta Sevichelia, and that did Dachik Shengi, Sosulia, Gangaja, the Shengi, Tsuzushia, the Shengi, never Chivine, Pa Koronachi, Pa Len Lume, Sambig, Samta Chida, and the Chu. Now, during Yanchi, Chugi, Yamlin Tone to Cheda the Galek Havana, or the Niki, the Yamlin chair, the Galek Hasakavana, in Yamlin Jeans and some Tachida. And Sosugi, Ne Nazaro, that the Niki Gangar Chumbi, that the Niki Shalia. Susugi Nena joined the Tisu near joined the Niki Legi Jewood settle Mintu Gore, Yahura, some J, the Nigga Ganga says Servocomedi, Servocomedi, Chimushu Shagor, the Anzugas.
The Nata
Susugi Nena said Chumbine, settle out Dangane, as a Gangadus and the Buso and the Gangadua, just tell you, or that in Nena as a joint, or Jong Amelie, Jewood, Mingo, or the Chesna Denisa, or Nenas in Galekazina, Jikidus, Carson. Doesn't so Gemana, no more chagres and big Bobakia, and do some Davida, Servocomia, Subium Chagorwa.
These two practices, then, when cultivated well within oneself, independent on that cultivation, that habituation, the third practice of patience comes about with some ease. So, ethical conduct was the commitment not to bring harm. Generosity was the wish to be of benefit. So these two come together in the practice of patience. So patience is practiced in differing ways. So patience is a mind that stays undisturbed in the face of adversity. So adversity can come from two directions, outer and inner. So when we're facing adversity from outer, so let's say someone's giving us a hard time, here the practice of patience means to recall that I will not act in a way that's unethical. I will not allow my mind to go in an unethical manner, such as anger arising. I will not allow such a mind to be expressed, for example, responding in kind to what someone is saying. Rather, and now the mind of generosity influences the practice of patience. Rather, I will respond in a way that benefits this person. I'll respond in a skillful way. I will not make the situation worse, but I'll respond in a way that brings benefit. And in this way, the practices of ethics and generosity come together in the practice of patience. Our mind stays undisturbed. We don't make the situation worse, but we actually ease the burden of suffering of the other being, and our mind stays undisturbed. And then secondly, when suffering comes, when the obstacles come not from outside but within us, let's say we are ill and we are in pain. So we're experiencing illness or pain. So usually we become unhappy and I wish this wasn't happening. Why me? And our mind becomes unhappy. So here we also need to respond with skill and with patience, ensuring that our mind remains undisturbed in the face of adversity. So here we remind ourselves that this suffering that we are experiencing right now has come about in dependence on causes and conditions. So previously accumulated negative karma is now ripening, and we are experiencing that ripening result. Reflecting like that leads to a mind that rejoices that a previously accumulated negative imprint is now being eliminated through its ripening, as well as a commitment to refrain from further non-virtue, because we are experiencing the suffering results of non-virtue. Moreover, we think about others, and others who have accumulated the same seeds that lead to suffering as we have and are experiencing. And we can generate the thought that through my experiencing of this suffering seed, may I be like the representative of others, and may their suffering be purified through my suffering seed now being purified. So here again, this practice of patience links in with this mind of ethics, of not responding with harm, and the mind of generosity, of wanting to bring benefit to others. And we practice this in relation to suffering that we ourselves are experiencing without, not necessarily from others. So So this then is the third practice, the practice of patience, the mind that stays undisturbed in the face of adversity.
And the new Sunday Yamlin Jet, Sunday Yamlin Labna did, Tangazuki, Gavi Jawa, Tangazuki, Gavi Jawa Road to Yarta, and Shanley Pembe Jawa Road, Shanyi, and the Jiki, Tangazu, Shanley Pembe Jawa, Luma Yusum Yukane, Shanley Pembe Jawa to Ya, Luma Yusum Yukane, Shanji Dunga Seya, Sige Jawa to Ya, Nanga Luma Yusum Yukane, Gawa to Ya, the Niki Hawa to Ya, the Niki Shanley Pembe to Ya, Pay Yapura, something, the Niki Yapure, the Niki. The Niki Yapuru, the Niki Dina, the Nituan Beapure, some J, the Niki Gawata, Shanley Pembe Chawalia, and it's Yapure, some Jukao community, the Yane Yado, or the Niki Gedina, the Nichi Gedina, the Nichi, some tidy, that. 20年的什么的Yane当过的20岁的的大外那这个车地里拿的车起码拿的这个给回家了呀主要了呀那你不切过的就是的什么样的大呀的
The fourth practice is that of joyous perseverance. So joyous perseverance has as its object virtuous practices. So here one turns one's attention to whatever virtuous practices one has been engaging in, such as meditating on ethics or generosity or patience, and delights in what one has done. Through reflecting on the benefits that come to oneself in this and future lives and to others in this and future lives, joy arises in us. Joy in the virtue that we are accumulating, these virtuous seeds that we are accumulating, this transformation that we are bringing about to ourselves, the beneficial impact that we are having in the lives of others. Here we delight in this. Joy arises. We rejoice in what we are doing. And this mind of rejoicing or delight leads to us wanting to persevere, to continue, to be diligent, to strive in continuing to spiritually develop. It prevents us from thinking, oh, what I've done is sufficient, I don't need to do it anymore. But rather, with a mind of delight, we want to continue. We see the great benefits, and therefore we are not distracted or overcome by any hardships. So this fourth practice of joyous perseverance is a mind that delights in the virtuous activities that we are doing. It delights in our spiritual development, delights in the benefits that we are bringing into the lives of others, and encourages us to be diligent, to persevere, to continue to make effort in our spiritual development.
That is Jelly, the Niki Trubna troops, the Kehotu, the Denisa, Tangi, the Niki Kehotu, Telatine, Tangazu, Milurus in the Kewachima, the Milurimboche, top chair, and Ditalia, and Chik Chen Yamne Yapoche, Shengi Dunga Seata, Shengi Diutualia, Pampa Yachambo Tutua, Yon Show, Sambigi, and the Niki some tire, Malam Jare, and the Niki Kawasasha Batile. Telatine, Kiwachima Susan Halia, Kiwa some Kiwas Dubaina, the Kiwachima Hai, Hadinichilia, Kiwa Lenche, and Titelia, Chuyamlia, Wachiarawata, Shanlia, and the Dungasia, Tikituale, Pampa Yashimu to show, and Biggie, and the Nigmola Jada, and the Nigi Kawasasha, but Telatine, and Chigamlenche, Raina, she has some Tamjela Tikituata, and the Kanga Pembe to Yaki, Dandala, do that number kundu Niki, Shanley Pembata. Tikituyada, and Sosuki the Chin, Yamlen Cheche, and Sayokopa, knew the Tober Show, said Deniki Molam Jadi, and the Napa the Chagorum.
And then the final practice comes down to prayer. So here, having now had this mind of delight, having reflected on joyous perseverance, we dedicate that in all future lives I need to continue my spiritual development so that I can progress, so I can be of direct benefit to others and develop ever further and be of ever greater benefit to others. So with this wish to have good rebirths as a human or God, we make prayers that may I achieve a precious human rebirth in my future lives, or may I be reborn as a God in one's future lives, whatever one's wish is, in order so as to spiritually develop, to become an ever more developed being and be of ever greater benefit to others, and to, in life after life, live a life dedicated to alleviating the suffering of others and guiding others to a state of lasting happiness.
Dene dang zo na digang ya an ji gi ding ge xin ne chu ya de dene xin ne chu ne yang zhe de dong ba ni do be ge an ji ge da wa do ya ge dan da le be zu che re da sin sam dan na xie le se nyam len che de di cha go re.
And the practices that would be done in addition to that is cultivating the mind of concentration and the mind of wisdom, in particular the wisdom realizing emptiness.
Dang zo diring da kha sa da diring yi chik da che ge chu chik song she be ge xie be ge da nyam len che de ga zo da nyam len se na ga zo sam lo da ya de re chi sa sam lo da ja sam lo ya jiang do gong xi tie de re de ne zang ga zo di guo du sam da da de ma zo xue ge ne ya che ne xue ge ya lang yo de ne ge sam da wei na ga ma nga ju na le ba ji guo ra din cha ru gu ro an de ne chi ne ne ji ga ni me gong de wa de ne sam da ya na gong da le sam da ya na de ne ge ni ge di ne so so du che ga zhe ran na de ne sam gang meng ma da tu ye de ma zo da ne gom yap se na je jang ji nga zo ge nyam len ji se na di re de sa de ne re.
Now, in our 4 sessions thus far, we've spoken about a Buddhist practice. And what's important here to remember is what is meant by Buddhist practice. It means developing our way of thinking. It's not primarily an external activity, it's an inner activity. And what is then meant by developing our way of thinking? It's developing new mental habits, breaking certain mental habits, non-virtuous, harmful ways of thinking, breaking those habits, and developing and strengthening virtuous habits. This is the meaning of meditation, the meaning of Buddhist practice. So I've described now in some detail meditation, and I hope each of you can do this every day. And if it works with your schedule, to do it every morning, even if it's just 5 minutes, or if you can, 10, 15 minutes, whatever you have time for, this will make a difference. And if you can't do it in the morning, but in the evening works better for you at night, then do the meditation then. And for some who have the capacity, do 5-10 minutes in the morning and the night, all the better. But do what you can as long as you do something repeatedly. And then, whether you meditate just in the morning or just at night or both, what I would strongly encourage you to also do is during the day, there are always many individual moments where one is not doing anything that needs mental attention. Just remind yourself of that meditation in the morning, literally a few seconds, that this morning I made the commitment not to allow my mind to go in a direction of harm, but always to keep our mind in a direction of wanting to be of benefit to others, of wanting others to achieve happiness as well. Just remind yourself of this several times throughout the day so that one's motivation stays fresh and has an impact on one's behavior. So thank you very much. We'll finish there today.